up. He makes the catch. Are you kidding me?
この方寒天の銃。
さあ、これからが本番だ。
Welcome to the Three Cast, the podcast where we talk about three of the biggest topics in pop culture: video games, anime, and sports. NFL Week 5 just wrapped up, and let me tell you that this was the week of the surprises. Now, I was surprised to see what teams beat other teams, and something that I wasn't expecting. But let's get into the first game. So the first game we're gonna talk about the Eagles versus the Broncos. Now, this right here is one of the surprise games that I'm talking about, because as you know, the Eagles are kind of on a hot streak right now, or one of the biggest teams in the NFL right now. So yeah, this was a surprise game. So let's get into the Eagles performance. So the Eagles performance, all right, so the Eagles lost this game, but let's get into the reason why they lost this game. So the Eagles lost this game. The Eagles led this game at the start of the fourth quarter, and it seems like this was a very low scoring game, because the game ended up being 17-21. So if the Eagles led at the start of the first quarter, then this was at the start of the fourth quarter, then it seems like this was a very low scoring game. But the Eagles led at the start of the fourth quarter. So it seems like the team overall had only two rushes for 45 yards, which is the fewest in the game under Nick Sirianni. So it's, the Eagles couldn't get their run game on, and I'm not gonna say that the Eagles are primarily a run first, team, but you have to be able to control the clock and be able to, run the ball and influence the game a little bit. So if that's the case, then they were not doing a very good job of, basically running the ball. Saquon Barkley only gets 2 rushes for 30 yards and a touchdown. So again, like I said, Saquon Barkley, their biggest player, was not really doing anything either. So it seems like the Broncos was ready and was ready to stop every single thing that the Eagles had going on. So overall, the team was only able to regenerate 302 total yards. This is where the Eagles really struggled, and the reason why they lost their game. They were really struggling on third down conversions. There were only 2 of 11 on third down. So, and third down is something that you really want to convert on. You really want to be good at as a team, is third down, because that really determines if you get an extra down or not. So the fact that they were only 2 of 11 on third down is really not good. I don't know, it just seemed like the Broncos defense was ready for them at all times. Jalen Hurts throws for only 280 yards. He throws for 2 touchdowns, and overall he throws for 2 touchdowns for only 280 yards. So struggled on passing. He gets 2 touchdowns, so that's good. And overall, just struggled on third down, man. They just wasn't able to pick up third down conversions. Like I said, that's very crucial. You want to be a good team. You want to be a good third down conversion team. Let's get into the Broncos' performance. So the Broncos end up winning this game. They ended up winning 21-17. The Broncos defense stopped the Eagles' run game. So the Eagles were trying to get a run game going on, but it seems like, like I said earlier, Broncos really had everything to do. They were prepared for the Eagles. They were prepared for stopping the Eagles in everything they did. And as a defense, stopping the run game, you really want to be overall a good defense for passing and rushing. But when you can stop the run, especially with a good team like the Eagles, then you got a good defense. So the Broncos trailed 17-3 in the fourth quarter. And that's actually impressive when you think about it, because they trailed 17-3 in the fourth quarter. But earlier I brought up that the Eagles kind of lost their lead going into the fourth quarter, so like they gave up a lead. So the Broncos defense really held on, and really came through for the Broncos to give them, you know, opportunities to overcome that lead. So it's very impressive, a 17-3 lead in the fourth quarter for the Broncos to overcome. So the Broncos are 2-102 when trailing by 14 points or more in the fourth quarter. So like they really fought for this, man. And you know what I'm saying, they don't really win too many games when they're trailing down this much, but they actually won this game and they overcome it. Like I said, the defense came through for them. This is also on the road. So it makes it even more impressive because they're in enemy territory. And when you're on the road, when you're playing these games, you know, the crowd's loud, and you know, it can kind of get in your head when you're on the road. You know, sometimes you're really not prepared for it. So, you know, there's different types of conditions that you have to prepare for. Bo Nix for the Broncos goes 24 of 39 for his passer rating, and it throws for 242 yards and a touchdown, ending a 5 road game losing streak. So this win was a must win for them, especially on the road. Like I said, it's hard to win on the road, so you always want to get a win. Those wins are always good. They always feel good when you get a win on the road against an opposing team. You know, and a team that, like, you know, and when you're not expected to win the game, it's always good to win the game. So, and the Broncos have been low key coming up lately. So let's see if they can keep that momentum, you know, going on in the next few weeks. The Broncos' total yards overall was 358 total yards, compared to the Eagles' 280 total yards. So they outplayed them when it came to total yards. They also controlled the clock in their time of possession. Their time of possession was 34 minutes and 17 seconds. So, like I said, like I keep saying, time of possession is very crucial when it comes to, you know, controlling the clock, who has the ball the longest, you know, stuff like that matters. Carson Sutton gets 8 catches for 99 yards. So he was really the receiver that really, you know, made a very big impact on this Broncos win. But yeah, man, you know, overall good on for the Broncos for winning this game. I'm not gonna say a blowout. It was only by 4 points, but like I said, it really does feel good when you get a win on the road against the opposing team. The whole stadium is against you because you're on the road, and it's hard to get a road win. So it's hard to win in the NFL in general, but getting a road win is a big plus. Oh man. Now we're gonna get into the Ravens and Texans game. Now we're gonna keep this game short because the Ravens are really, really struggling right now, and you know, it's kind of making me angry a little bit because the way they're performing, they're not really performing like their motto says. You know, their motto is play like a Raven, and they're not really playing like, you know, like they really should right now. And I mean, obviously with Lamar hurt, you know, we're gonna struggle a little bit. So we're gonna need to get him back as soon as possible. I don't know when he's gonna be coming back. They say he's gonna be out for like, I don't know, like 3 months or something like that. But let's hope he gets back sooner. But we're gonna keep this game short because, I mean, I mean, we just got blown out, man. So the Ravens scored 10 points and the Houston Texans scored 44 points. So, ooh, that really hurts, man. So let's get into the, man, I don't even know where to start. So this is the largest margin defeat under John Harbaugh, who was the coach, head coach for the Ravens. So, you know, a lot of people saying that, you know, maybe John Harbaugh should retire, or like maybe like, I don't know, maybe his heart's not in the game anymore like it used to be. But I mean, you can't really argue with these type of numbers, bro. 44-10, largest defeat under John Harbaugh. Man, I don't know, man. And this is the third largest defeat margin in Ravens history. So like, man, yo, Coach Harbaugh, what are you doing, bro? Derrick Henry only gets 15 carries for 33 yards, and he gets a touchdown. But I mean, that's not really enough for Derrick Henry, bro. Like, Derrick Henry needs to get more touches. Only 15 touches, bro. Like, no, Derrick Henry works when he gets the ball more and more and more throughout the game. So we need to get him more carries, man. It's like, it's almost like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. We need to be relying on Derrick Henry a little bit more now, especially now that Lamar is out. Man, get Derrick Henry his touches, bro. This is the fourth straight game with 50 yards or fewer for Derrick Henry. Cause I mean, if you ever hear about Derrick Henry, you know he's been going through it, man. He's been, a lot of bad news has been happening to him. With him fumbling a lot. I think he has like what, 3 fumbles in the last 4 games or something like that. So, you know, Derrick Henry's been kind of really struggling, man. And when he has under 50 yards or under in the last 4 games, it's like yes, we want to trust him more and we want to give him more touches and more chances to run, but whenever he's, you know, fumbling and doing stuff like this, you just don't really know. So I don't really know, man. Yeah, so overall the Ravens get 207 total yards, which is very low, which is extremely low. Like, 163 total passing yards with 38 total rushing yards. So a very, very low number game for us Ravens, bro. Like, man, we're really struggling right now. And not even to mention all the injuries that we have. So that's like a whole nother issue. Like, overall, our time of possession was 23.67 minutes. So yeah, man, we gotta do better, man. And it's not bad when you compare it to the Houston's time of possession, but like, we didn't really do much with anything. And we oh, man, I don't, oh, man, I might be up for the Ravens, bro. It might be up. I don't want to say it, but I think it might be over. Especially with Lamar injured, the problems we're having on defense, not performing as well. John Harbaugh's coaching, what's going on with him in the media and stuff like that, it might be over, man. So again, I don't want to say it, but it might be over. But let's get into the Houston's performance. So like I said earlier, Houston scored 44 points. But overall they had a good game. J.C. Stroud throws for 244 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he had a field day against the Ravens. The defense couldn't stop him for nothing. Overall the Houston Texans total yards for the night was 417 total yards. 250 total passing yards for T.J. Stroud, and 162 total rushing yards. So Their ground game was very good. Their pass game was very good. And it's because our defense. It's because our defense, first of all, gives up way too many yards. We can't stop the run. We're trash at stopping the run, and we can't really stop the pass either. And their time of possession was better than ours with 36.33 seconds. So it wasn't that much better than us. It was only better than us by like 13 seconds, but still a little bit better than us. So, but they did more with their time than we did with ours. So, yeah, man, we just gotta clean up. I don't even know if we gotta clean up, bro. I don't even know if we can, bro. I'm like I said, man, it might be even too late. I don't even know what to say, bro. It's like I know it's so tough to be a fan of the Baltimore Ravens right now, but it really is, bro. I don't know what to say, man. We got just so many issues, bro. With the issues on defense we got, with the injuries on defense we got, with the Lamar Jackson being out, with Derrick Henry not performing like he should perform, with all the fumbles and all the mistakes that he's going through. With John Harbaugh, talking about, or people talking about John Harbaugh, like how he's not a good coach anymore. It's like, there's a lot of things that are going on in Baltimore. And it hurts, and it's hurting my heart, bro. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. Now let's get into this Chiefs game. Now look, the Chiefs versus the Jags. This was a very entertaining game to watch. And the Chiefs end up losing this game. Now, you hate to see the Chiefs lose because they already, they've been kind of struggling a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So, but they end up losing 28-31. So, they didn't lose too bad. They only lost by 3 points, but they still lost. So, and, oh, man, but this was a great game. So, let's get into this game, bro. So, the Chiefs, like I said, end up losing. They only scored 28 points. Patrick Mahomes goes 318, passes for 318 yards. And he also has 6 rushing yards. So he did a little bit with his feet on the ground. So you don't want to sleep on Mahomes because people forget that he's a runner too. Like he's not really a runner, but he can be a runner. So you got to watch out for his legs as well. So he does have 6 rushing yards. But what really hurt the Chiefs in this game was their penalties. They had 13 penalties. That is way too many penalties to have. And it's definitely the reason why they lost this game. Like I said, they only lost by 3 points. So if they didn't have those penalties, they might have won. But penalties really do hurt a team. Really do hurt a team's performance. 13 penalties is way too many penalties. So Patrick Mahomes' passing percentage is 20 of 41 passer percentage. And he gets 1 touchdown. And he also throws 1 interception too. So Patrick Mahomes just had a very okay, mediocre game with a little bit of, with mess ups. You can't call it a little bit of mess ups because he did still lose, and everything counts in the NFL. But he had an okay, mediocre performance with some mess ups. Like I said, the Chiefs have been struggling a little bit lately. And it's very, I don't know, bro. So they're not really looking like a dynasty anymore. Devin Singletary gets 7 carries for only 49 yards. So they really struggled on their running game as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they, struggled on their passing game as well. But the Chiefs still need to find their identity, bro. Like, it's still the same as when the season started. They can't really find themselves. They're really struggling with identity, finding themselves. So, they just don't know who they are, man. And man, I just don't know what to say, bro. They're really struggling right now. But let's get into the Jaguars performance. So they had a very good performance. Like I said, they scored 31 points to win this game. So Trevor Lawrence throws for 221 passing yards with 2 touchdowns. And he also gets 2 rushing touchdowns. And Trevor Lawrence went all out in this game. His performance specifically, and let's not forget that he has legs. Like, he can run the ball. He had that play where he hiked the ball and he kind of tripped up like 2 or 3 times, and he still got up and ran the ball in. Like, and he got past like 2 defenders to do it. So this dude is very athletic and very slept on when it comes to like rushing the bar or whatever. Trevor Lawrence goes 18 of 25. That was his passer rating percentage. He also throws one interception. So, but obviously he ended up cleaning that up later on in the game because they ended up winning the game. So that one interception really didn't affect him, but something to look out for. He also has 54 rushing yards. And both his touchdowns that he scored were both rushing touchdowns. So, like I said, bro, don't sleep on this guy's legs, bro. They come back. So this game was impressive because, well, the Jaguars' performance was impressive because they came back from a 14-0 Chiefs lead to win the game. And this is what I said in the beginning, right? This is why I say that this week, NFL Week 5, was the week of the surprises, because you have teams coming back from games from very low deficits or high deficits, and they're coming back to win the game. This is the week of the surprises, man. So they come back from a 14-0 Chiefs lead to win the game. Travis Hunter had 3 receptions for 64 yards. So a very low, lackluster game for him. But like I said, didn't really need it. They really did perform well. Trevor Lawrence was really the MVP of this game. So shout out to Trevor Lawrence, man. He really did his thing. The way he performed, man, it's like he performed like a veteran quarterback. So let's recap. So as a recap of this game, earlier, like I said, the 13 penalties really hurt the Chiefs, man. So if they can clean that up, they might have won this game if they would have cleaned that up. But 13 penalties is way too much. And they also had 1 penalty on the final kickoff drive of the game. So that was a crucial penalty. Now, if they would have had that back, then maybe they would have, won the game. So, or maybe it would have just turned things around. So that final kickoff penalty, that probably sealed the deal on the Chiefs win. The reason why they didn't win. And that put the Jaguars in good field position to just win the game. So, but just overall, just need to clean up on their penalties, bro. That's pretty much it, bro. They could do that, they definitely would have won this game. But seeing how close this game was, even with their 13 penalties, I don't think that people should be worried about the Chiefs. I think they'll be good. I know I clowned on the Chiefs before, and but I don't know, man. It's not like they're super underperforming. I mean, they kind of were for the first 2 weeks of the season, but I don't know. They're also in a weird spot where they're just trying to find their identity right now. So, let's hope that they can. I don't know. They're in a weird spot right now. All right. Let's get into this Dallas and Jets game. So, I really don't have much to say about this game. Not really. It was a high scoring game. Dallas ends up winning this game 37-22. So it seems like Dallas, I mean, they did play the Jets, right? So the Jets really aren't that good of a team. But it's good to see that Dallas is getting a win after most of the defensive problems they have had. So it seems like they cleaned up a little bit on their defense. I'm saying Dak Prescott, of course, is performing very well. So I'm not surprising about that. So they end up winning this game, like I said, 37-22, high scoring game. Dallas overall ends up getting 416 total yards. Dak Prescott throws for 237 yards. So, like I said, Dak Prescott is performing very good. He's not overdoing it. He's doing what he's supposed to do. And he's doing what his team needs to do. And that's all we need to do from Dak Prescott. That's all. Don't try to do anything fancy. Don't try to do anything over the top. All you need to do is just do what you need to, just do your job. So, and that's exactly what he did. 237 yards, that shows it. He also throws for 4 touchdowns, which amazing. But they did have 2 turnovers, which this game is way too close for you to have 2 turnovers. So you can't really afford those. So clean up the turnovers. And this, overall, they still won the game, but cleaned up the turnovers. Okay. That's not good. That's not good. So let's get into the Jets. So the Jets overall have 378 total yards. 378 total yards. Bryce Hall, I don't know how you really pronounce his name. He rushes for 113 yards and 40. So, when you have a great game like that, 113 yards, when you rush for that much and you still lose, it really hurts, bro. Because it's not like the Jets were. The Jets are a bad team, but it's not like they performed bad on this day. Like, they really did good. You just hurt to see. You just hate to see it, bro. A good performance and you still lose. So the team overall has 42 receiving yards. So they were trying to get the ball around, but it seems like they could really get it the ball rolling when it comes to receiving yards. And overall they also had 2 turnovers. So each team had 2 turnovers. Each team had a high scoring game, but one team performed way better than the other. They had this, and Dallas just did more with what they had that the Jets couldn't. But it was still close. Towards the end, it was still close. So it could have went either way. At the end, it just went Dallas's way this time. They just performed better. They were just a better team. You know what I'm saying? So good job on the Dallas Cowboys for a lot of things. For this performance, Dak Prescott consistently being good. Also, them cleaning up their defense, because for a while it wasn't that good. So just overall good game for Dallas, man. Overall good performance. All right, so let's get into the scores of the other games. So the 49ers versus Rams. The 49ers end up beating the Rams 26-22, 26-23. And, the Rams had high expectations at the beginning of the season. So I don't really know, especially their defense was kind of good. And I know their offense was decent. So, I don't know. Let's see if the Rams can, clean things up or whatever. The Vikings end up beating the Browns 21-17. So there's that. The Panthers end up beating the Dolphins 27-24. So it's a very close game there. The Colts end up beating the Raiders 40-6. Yo, what's going on with the Raiders, bro? I don't really know, bro, but the Colts have no. I don't know, but 40-6 is crazy. The Saints end up beating the Giants 26-14. I did not expect the Saints to have 26 points. And that performance is crazy. Considering the Giants, I don't know. Because a lot of people were talking about how their replacement quarterback or the quarterback they have now was supposed to be like the future or whatever. So I'm not really sure about that right now. The Titans end up beating the Cardinals 22-21. The Buccaneers end up beating the Seattle Seahawks 38-35. So that was a close scoring game there. The Lions end up beating the Lions end up beating the Bengals 37-24. Now we know why the Bengals lost, because Joe Burrow's out with that turf toe injury. So let's hope that Joe Burrow can return very soon, because the Bengals, with him, the Bengals are a playoff team. Without him, they're losing to the Lions. Well, the Lions are very good, so let's not hate on the Lions. They've been very good so far. They've been having something to prove, so let's not hate on the Lions. But they end up losing. The Bengals end up losing. So let's just hope that Joe Burrow can get back as soon as possible. The Commanders end up beating the Chargers 27-10, which I'm surprised that the Chargers scored only 10 points, because I know they're very high up when it comes to on that tier list of teams. So let's hope that they can bounce back from this. And the Patriots end up beating the Bills 23-20, which another surprising game, because the Bills, of course, have Josh Allen, and they're supposed to be one of the best teams, like top 3 teams in the NFL right now. So this is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. This is the week of the surprises. There's a lot of games that were surprising that teams won and teams lost. So those were the remaining teams that played this week. So this is week 5 wrapped up. NFL week 5 wrapped up. So let me know what y'all think about the NFL. Did y'all have any surprising wins? Did anyone win that y'all didn't think was gonna win? Did anyone lose that y'all didn't expect to lose or whatever? So let me know what y'all think about NFL week 5. It was a very surprising week, like I said, very entertaining week again, like I said. And so yeah, that's week 5 wrapped up. All right, let's get into this anime news. So for you Chainsaw fans out there, the Chainsawman Reese movie will be releasing on October 24th and will be in real D 3D. So the movie's gonna be in real D 3D, which is huge news. This movie is getting a whole bunch of promotion behind it, and you know what I'm saying, and I'm messing with it, you know what I'm saying. This movie's gonna have a lot of big stuff coming to it. So this movie, so the movie theater, or the promotion promotion, I don't know if it's the theater or if it's the I don't know if it's the company, but I think the company behind the reason why it's going to be showed in real D3 is Big Hayward. And also the movie is going to release in 4DX and D-Box, which is actually crazy, because those are the companies that have the seats move, like kind of like how, like how do I explain it, the seats are gonna move with the actions of the movie. So like if there's like shaking going on in the movie, like with the camera and stuff like that, the seats are gonna move. I know Demon Slayer had a certain, like had a movie promotion like that, where the seats, well, not the seats, but like the atmosphere was kind of like almost 4D like, where you can feel the wind and you can feel the fire coming off of the sword and the ice and stuff like that. So it's nice to see that anime movies are getting promotion like this. So the chainsaw, so the movie, the seats are gonna move and it's gonna have essential effects. So I'm assuming it's gonna be the same thing as Demon Slayer, where you can like feel the wind and feel the on-screen effects and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. The movie will also be in IMAX. It will be in Screen X. This is gonna be the world's first multi-projection cinema. So the theater that's gonna have all of this, that's gonna have the 4DX, gonna have the D-Box, gonna have the moving seats with all this stuff. This is the world's first multi-projection cinema. So maybe I'm tripping. I thought Demon Slayer had this as well, but it's looking like the very first cinema that's gonna allow this to happen is gonna show the Chainsaw Reese movie. So I'm hoping this goes well, and if this does goes well, then maybe multiple movies, anime specifically, that has all these effects in it can be at this movie theater, or other movie theaters can show this. So this is very good for anime and anime movies as a whole. This cinema movie theater provides 270-degree panoramic viewing, so viewing angles. So I don't know how that's gonna work. It sounds dope to me. So I don't know if they're gonna like move the seats in a way to where like you can view it 270 degrees, or I don't know if the screen itself is gonna have 270-degree viewing angles or something like that. But that's very gonna be interesting to see, and how that's going to work. But like I said, very interesting, very interesting. So yeah, man. So very, very interesting. The way that they're gonna promote this Chainsaw Man movie. I know Chainsaw Man is one of the biggest like hot new gen animes right now. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't know. Maybe after this information, I might go ahead and watch Chainsaw Man. I ain't gonna lie, but it's making it kind of interesting. So I might give it a watch. But this is huge, huge for anime. Huge for anime movies. Maybe future anime in the future can come out with this kind of stuff and this kind of theaters and having all these features in it. But like, this is kind of dope. This is kind of dope seeing anime get its shine and get this in today's world. So this is dope to see. When it comes to video game news in the world of video games, Xbox right now is under fire, under a lot of heat, because Xbox loses $300 million due to the lack of Call of Duty sales. Now, this is because Call of Duty just got bundled in with Xbox Game Pass, and they thought that it was going to do very well. What happened is they weren't prepared for these Call of Duty sales to tank as quickly as they did. So what they thought was going to happen was, we're going to include Call of Duty into Game Pass, and because it's included into Game Pass, and Game Pass is such a big deal already, and a good deal per se, that it's gonna just go crazy. Our sales gonna skyrocket. But that's not what happened, because Xbox right now is hiking the prices of everything. They went so Xbox Game Passes went from $10 to now, from $20 now to $30, and everybody's saying that, oh, Game Pass is such a good deal. Well, really it's not, because if you think about it, most of the games on Game Pass are very mediocre at best, really not that interesting, and Xbox is kind of competing in that space to where like first of all, the console wars are stupid. That was a dumb thing that the fans have made up or whatever. But also, since PC is obviously way better, with PlayStation doing their own thing, obviously, Nintendo doing their own thing, Xbox is still trying to compete with other competitors, and it's like the competition is over. Like, there's no such thing as console wars anymore, and I feel like Xbox is still trying to compete like that's still a thing. And they're like, okay, everyone is price hiking their prices like all the time. This is nothing new, but Xbox is getting a lot of heat for it, because like, why? I don't know. I think it was just the fact that like they try to bundle in Call of Duty. Like, it's because like, I don't know if it's because Call of Duty is not doing as good of a sales as it should be. So they're like, okay, so they're basically making up the difference for the lack of sales that they're getting. It's like Call of Duty's not selling, Game Pass is too expensive. The Xbox Series X goes up in price $100. Um, so and all this price hiking going on at Xbox, not to mention that the layovers that's going on over there, they're laying people off over there. Um, games are getting canceled because developers are losing their jobs, and they're trying to make up this money, make up the difference up for the money that they're losing, and the only way that they can do that is to raise the prices of everything. But when you do that, a lot of consumers are going to be extremely mad because, like, why are you doing that? Everything's already expensive. So that's not a very nice thing to do. So but with everything going on at Xbox, man, is Xbox cooked? Like, for sure, my personal opinion is Xbox was cooked like 2 years ago. That's my opinion. Like, Xbox being cooked, they already don't have a lot of exclusives. Like, the regular games on Xbox are basically on PC already. So me personally, Xbox being cooked, they had a Xbox had a nice little surge in power, if you want to say that, whenever the Xbox Series X came out, because it was more powerful than the PS5. But it's just PS5 had more games, and everybody was already on that platform of PlayStation. So I don't really know what's going on with Xbox. Is Xbox cooked? Is Xbox done for? Um, and and Xbox did um say that they were going to come out with the ROG Ally X. I wonder, is that still going to be in development, or is that going to be canceled? Was that project part of the millions of layoffs that of people that were working on the Xbox ROG Ally X? Did they get laid off as well? Is that ROG Ally X still gonna happen? And even if it does happen, let's say it does come out and the ROG Ally X is in stores, are those sales going to impact Xbox enough? Is that handheld, because it's supposed to be a handheld, is that handheld console going to be enough to make up the difference for all this money loss that Xbox is going to go through right now? Not to mention GTA 6 is going to come out. So is that game alone going to be popular enough to where it's gonna make up the difference? I don't know. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered at Xbox. Um, a lot of things that need to get done, I guess, behind the scenes that we don't know. But it's crazy to see, man. I don't know what's going on with these decisions, like, of people, getting laid off. Games probably not gonna come out, not gonna, because there's definitely games that have been in develop for 2 years that a lot of people don't know if they're going to come out already because it was with an Xbox studio. And now that the layoffs are happening, and maybe some pay cuts, and all these price hikes or whatever, they're trying to make money back. Are these games even going to come out anymore? And if they don't, then these game companies are just, and the people working on the game are just wasting money down the drain, wasting all this time, putting all this effort into these games, and just not going to come out. So and this will probably affect Xbox partnerships, like people who want to collab with Xbox, people who want to work with them, definitely might affect that too in the future. So not a lot of people talk about that either, like the partnerships and the sponsorships that Xbox gets. People are probably not going to work with them anymore. Maybe we're just gonna have to see in the future, so only time will tell. But most likely Xbox will be fine. I mean, Xbox is a $1 billion company or $1 trillion company, so most likely they're going to be fine. But it is something that is concerning and something to keep your eye out on. Keep an eye on Xbox, because they do have a lot of stuff that's supposed to come out, and we don't know if they're going to come out just because of all these things that are happening in Xbox. So we just gonna have to see what happens in the future. Well, let me know what you think about everything we talked about. Talked about the NFL, talked about Chainsaw Man movie, talked about the situation that's going on with Xbox. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. This has been Toughest One. signing out.